I'm visiting a suburban Hobart garden, transformed from a mishmash of styles and inconsistent levels to a fully integrated design that's highly functional and beautiful. Entering through this gate is design inspired by the silhouette of the city's beloved mountain Konani. The garden is divided into zones by organic paths, lots of stonework, and there's no lawn in sight. This is the dream garden of Debbie Crawford, but it hasn't always looked this way. After living here for years with a make-do veggie garden and chicken run, Debbie decided it was time to start from scratch. What was it about your previous garden that you wanted to change?
It was tired. We hadn't done anything with it. A lot of things were falling down, overgrown, but also the veggie garden was along the edge here and it got no sun and overhanging trees. So I wanted a big veggie garden and raised garden beds. I wanted to be able to cook out of the garden. A fire pit, we love entertaining outside. One thing we didn't want was lawn, and we wanted it to be as sort of native as possible. So yes, low maintenance, but also pretty.
And do you have a favourite place to hang out in the garden?
Well, the place just up here that we put the sails over overlooks Hobart. I watch the moonrise, which I think is just gorgeous.
That's pretty
and
special.
Got the sound of the water feature and sunshine in winter and shade in summer.
Perfect. As Debbie had some firm ideas in mind, rather than engaging a designer, she reached out to local landscaper Jethro Plunkett and his team to bring her dream garden to life. So, Debbie, how did you come to choose Jethro to work with you?
I really liked his photos, a lot of use of natural products, and I was pretty keen on recycling, which Jethro seemed to be keen on as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought we could work as a team.
When you look around today and see what's here compared to what you started with, is it any difference?
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
We had to bring in 300 tonne of boulders up a narrow driveway. It's a lot of trucks.
That is quite a lot, 300 tonnes,
Yeah,
that is huge.
There's more stone here than at the quarry, potentially.
But it was worth the effort. The stones tie each zone together with organic boundaries and retaining walls, with each stone carefully stacked so that there are no straight lines. Their addition has also made the space much warmer.
The benefits of the stone are great. There's thermal mass they create, they passively drain. They've got a really nice natural feel to them, and we feel like they fit the lay of the land perfectly.
And it creates a warmer microclimate, which we love in here in cool temperate Tasmania.
I can't believe I felt like I created this new country in the back of my garden. It's very summery up here, and we've sort of sheltered, which has made it all year round growable.
And Jethro, what about the plant selection? How did you guys choose those?
So a lot of the plants were existing, the raspberry, the quince. So a lot of the choices complemented that.
Other than lots of colourful perennials like salvias and daisies, most of the new plantings are focused on drought-tolerant natives to add habitat and reduce maintenance.
It really was something that evolved, and some things worked, and if they worked we could repeat them. Some things didn't, and we tried them in other places. And the joy of gardening is the joy of evolving and learning.
I love the range of really hardy plants along this rockery edge. What are we looking at, Jethro?
We've got the new blue moon here in salvias. They're all really hard-working plants, and against the dry, warm stone they seem to do really well. Great pollinators for the veggie garden, and just really nice pop of colour.
And what made you choose the cushion plant here?
Jethro has probably instigated my interest, and I'd seen them a lot, like up on the high plains in Tasmania, and they're just really pretty. This year they're even seeding, so you can see that they do this, and hopefully we'll have lots of them.
And they feel amazing. Like they're quite firm, but they have a great texture.
They're kind of cool how they grow up over rocks.
Yeah, like swallowing the rock. It's gorgeous.
The thing I love about them is that they're native to Tasmania as well.
Both Debbie and Jethro were keen to repurpose as much material as possible from the original garden. When you were digging things up, I understand you found a few surprises.
We certainly did,
Yeah.
yeah. We found a gravestone, a founding stone for an old bakery in Hobart. We found hundreds of little medicine bottles. Every time we dug, something would pop up. And if we could, we'd try and incorporate that into the story of the garden.
And when I look around, I can see bits of farm machinery and, just bits and pieces that have been used sculpturally. I love that.
I think gardens are a really good place to have a bit of fun with and not be so generic. You can have these really individual items that make the garden unique in itself.
Debbie and Jethro also put a lot of thought into the design and how to future-proof the layout. The raised veggie beds are all at waist height, along with the retaining walls for all the other garden beds, so there's no clambering around.
I'm a physio by trade, so bending over I know is a bit vulnerable and your knees aren't as good as you get older, so having raised beds was part of what I wanted. It's easier to control the soil too, and flat areas, so that we were terraced and flat, not trying to work on a slope, which is really difficult.
This driveway is an absolute highlight. It's a joy to come into.
Well, it's how we started. It started on needing a new driveway and it's the last thing to happen. So we were pretty excited when it actually happened.
And what was the inspiration for these beautiful curves and little rock feature pods?
We were pretty strong about not having a straight line. It would look really horrible, a straight line of concrete.
We're integrating the stone from the garden into the concrete as well, so it's not this harsh substrate of concrete. It's got these nice intersecting elements in there. Native garden blends in really well. It's just starting to spill over the sides and really soften the edge as well. And as far as a driveway for in a city like Hobart, I think it's great. It looks like it could be in the middle of the bush.
What would you recommend for other people looking for a landscaper? What kind of qualities or things should they be looking out for?
I think to start with, you should find someone whose style and work resonates with what you're after, and then definitely meet the person and feel how you get along with them, what your relationship is like, if you feel like you can work with them. If that's not there, it's going to be a really challenging process, but if you've got that, you've sort of resolved half your issues already.
What are some of the important things to hold in mind when you're approaching a project of this scale?
I think being flexible and having an open mind to a whole lot of different ideas. I think if you're rigid in what you think something is going to look like, you're bound to fail. Trust in who you're working with, that they are thinking along your lines as well.
As a landscaper, you put a lot of stewardship into the gardens you work on, and you need to remember they're not your garden and that you're doing it for someone else. And at the end of the day, they need to be happy with what you've got. You can hold their hand and help them get there and impart all your knowledge. But as long as they're happy, we're happy. That seems to be the best result you can get.
It can take years and lots of effort, but it's worth having patience and getting a few helping hands and heads together to make your dream garden better than you ever imagined.